My colleague Akshita Nandgopal spoke to TN Tamil Nadu BJP Chief Annamalai on the language war.
And joining us on this broadcast live here on India Today is the Tamil Nadu BJP Chief Annamalai. Annamalai, I know you have a very busy schedule, but thank you for joining us here on India Today. You're on your way as we speak to Kadalur. But I wanted your reaction on what happened yesterday when Prime Minister Narendra Modi was in Chennai and at that government event where Chief Minister MK Stalin listed out a number of demands for the state.
Madam, yesterday was a historic day for Honorable Prime Minister's visit to Tamil Nadu. The historic reception that he got, where people were all around him in the street, everywhere, wherever he was going. It only showed the kind of popular leader or Honorable Prime Minister is in Tamil Nadu. Now, coming to the function, the stage function where the Honorable Prime Minister was sharing the stage with the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Sri MK Stalin. And we all know after coming to power, DMK government over the last 1 year, how they behaved. And if I can give you the crux of what the CM spoke, it's the same old story, maybe the old wine in a new bottle, and trying to hide a lot of facts, misrepresenting facts, trying to tell a lot of lies in front of the Honorable Prime Minister. So I will give you a clear picture of what he spoke. He started with the word called Ondri Arasu in front of the Prime Minister. So this is a small technical Tamil word.
Yeah.
And normally we all call the central government. We all call the government at the center, the central government. So the DMK calls that as the union government, meaning the government is formed by a union of states. In fact, if you look at the Karnataka era when you were the chief minister, or even the DMK manifesto for 2021, the word they have used is Madhya Arasu, meaning a central government. That is the DMK's manifesto. After coming to power right from day one, the chief minister uses a word called Ondri Arasu because he believed that is a way we can do politics in Tamil Nadu. He was repeatedly using the word, for which a large section of the audience inside were expressing the displeasure when the PM was speaking. Second, the crux of CM's speech is on 3 points. One, he wanted the Kachatiwa island to be retrieved and brought back. He has forgotten that the island was given to Sri Lanka by his own father, MK Karnanidhi, and Madam Indira Gandhi when she was the Prime Minister. Modi ji, in his speech, he has clearly referred what he is doing for Sri Lanka, especially for the Sri Lankan Tamils in this crisis, the kind of money India is pouring in. Kachatiwa is a problem that we are well within our right to resolve it.
Okay.
If the government of India will resolve it, only the BJP as a party, only we have the moral right to do whatever Kachatiwa has got to do with Tamil Nadu. DMK as a party not use the word Kachativu because they have gifted this island to Sri Lanka.
Okay.
The state has made a fool of himself for mentioning this. She was talking about the central government.
Let me also mention what the DMK has said in response, Annamalai. They're saying that the centre doesn't listen to us. And that's why we had to use this platform to put forth our demands, to put forth our requests to Prime Minister Modi.
Okay, because when I speak about the second issue, probably that will answer your question also,
sure.
Madam. Now, in the stage, the CM was mentioning about the fact the central government has to give money to Tamil Nadu and the central government has to give more to Tamil Nadu. This was the crux of his second point in the speech. We all have to understand as we speak now, the GST Council is a shining example of India's federalism. A council of states, all states are inside, represented. We make our own decision on a consensus-based model. And the central government, based on the GST Council's deliberation, it pays money to each state. The Chief Minister has forgotten this completely. He has forgotten the fact that our Finance Minister sits in the GST Council, agrees to all the deadlines and timelines, including the compensation clause. Tamil Nadu has taken the second compensation clause. He has forgotten everything where the Tamil Nadu Finance Minister is a party to the deliberation. The central government has got nothing to do with GST Council deliberation. Yesterday, he has made a political point that the Tamil Nadu government should get more from the center. Tamil Nadu government is getting delayed payment from the center. Also, the Chief Minister has conveniently forgotten Tamil Nadu state government has to pay 25,979 crore to the central government under various heads. This he has conveniently forgotten and is demanding that the 16,000 crore, in his own words, that the central government has to pay to Tamil Nadu. This is very unfortunate. They has used that platform to use it like a political function, like how a DMK leader speaks in front of a DMK platform. Now, coming to the question that you asked, ma'am, is it very logical what DMK is telling? The Prime Minister meets them. There is a process. The ministers keep meeting the Finance Minister. There is a process, the way in which government runs. But just to make a stage to give a political speech, does it really bring glory to the Tamil people or to bring glory to the Chief Minister? Yesterday, as I mentioned yesterday evening also after the function, the TM-CM has brought a lot of shame for Tamil people by his conduct yesterday in the stage. But whereas if you look at the PM speech, it was a statesman speech. He mentioned He likes our Tamil culture, Tamil language. He calls probably this is the oldest language in the world. And every time he comes to the soil, he feels energized.
Yeah.
That is the kind of respect he gives to Tamil Nadu.
I want to discuss that issue of the entire language debate. Do you think, Annamalai, that the Prime Minister's message when he says, you know, Tamil as a language is eternal, culture is global, do you think it finally, you know, kind of hits that narrative which has been spreading in Tamil Nadu of BJP being a Hindi party?
Madam, our Honorable PM, I think this is the third or fourth time he's talking about it. If I can remember correctly, before this also he has mentioned this is the oldest language and he has taken it to UN. Where he didn't even take his mother tongue Gujarati to UN. He has taken Kani and Pungondana to UN. So a whole of Tamil Nadu knows the Prime Minister's love for language. It is the DMK people who got a problem. Because DMK's politics is based on language. That is where they have run the politics for 70 years. They don't want anybody else talking about it. They believe they are the custodians of Tamil language, custodians of Tamil people. So after our Prime Minister, when he shows the genuine affection for Tamil people in his speeches, in his conduct, the way he behaves whenever he is in Tamil Nadu, they are not able to accept it. And yesterday's historic reception, it has also rubbed salt into the CM's wound. The historic reception that the Honorable PM has got, I personally think it has made Tamil Nadu CM Stalin to feel jealous. Because you remember a CM and a PM standing together and people giving a lot of respect to a PM in a state like Tamil Nadu, that has rubbed the salt into CM's wound. I think that was his reason for his emotional outburst.
You think it was an emotional outburst, not something that was a planned speech, that he was jealous of the kind of popularity and fanfare for the Prime Minister?
I think so, ma'am, because the CM was also traveling in the same convoy after receiving Honorable PM in the helipad. The CM was also in the same convoy. I was also in the same convoy. We were together one after the other. So everybody could see the genuine outpouring of emotion, love. And I've never seen Tamil Nadu like this. I've never seen Tamil people responding to any political leader in Tamil Nadu. It was like genuine emotion. CM is also watching it. So he knows in his own soil, which he claims as his birthright to do politics. And Honorable PM coming here and people showing that emotion, I am pretty sure that has made him feel jealous and envious.
So do you think that the entire Tamil issue has been brought up and there's a narrative being set to kind of counter the BJP in Tamil Nadu, that it's all a political issue, not something that's actually sentimental in the state?
Well, the Tamil issue is a dead issue now. It's a dead political issue. DMK is trying to flog the dead horse. The reason is very simple. And BJP, especially Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, you can't even pinprick one issue where is anti-Tamil. Is pro-Tamil than any other leader. Is pro-Tamil than most Tamil political leaders who are inside Tamil Nadu. That is number one. So all of Tamil Nadu knows. And DMK, the Dravidian stock, the Dravidian model of development, the Undri Arasu, all these are probably pointing to the fact they're in their last legs in Tamil Nadu. The current model of politics is probably coming to an end. I am seeing this as a pure emotional outburst of them because they know what worked for 70 years is not going to work for 2024 and 2026.
My final question to you, Annamalai, is what did the Prime Minister's visit really mean for the Bharatiya Janata Party in a state like Tamil Nadu? You know, you've been working from the grassroots to kind of ensure that the party is strengthened. What is the messaging that's sent across to the people of the state and to the cadre of the BJP with the Prime Minister's visit?
It's very special, ma'am, because after I became the state president, this is the first time the Honorable PM is coming, though we had occasions to meet in Delhi. But yesterday, what surprised me was he has met about 40-50 Tamil Nadu leaders. He was telling the names of 90% of the leaders. People he met him 5 years back, 6 years back. He was recalling their contribution. He was giving that patient hearing. This was absolutely amazing for a Karyakarta like me. And second, the genuineness he has got for the Tamil people. Genuineness. People were on the road. People were doing Bharatanatyam. He stopped the car. He came out. He was giving them handshake. And a lot of child, they were crying. And a lot of, I saw young people holding their children in their hand, maybe a 3-year kid, 4-year kid. They were crying, tears in the eyes. I've never seen, I probably as a Tamilian, we are very emotional people, we all know. Yeah. But I've never seen people getting emotional to a leader. Maybe in my generation, the kind of emotions only Narendra Modi ji can invoke. And yesterday, it's a very clear-cut direction Tamil Nadu is showing that 2024, it is going to be BJP's way from Tamil Nadu, no doubt about that.
Okay, and you're saying that that's what's got Chief Minister Stalin jealous. It was an emotional outburst by him when he listed out all of that in his speech and made the demands and then appealed to the Prime Minister. Annamalai, as always, a pleasure speaking to you. Again, thank you for taking the time out and joining us while you're on the road. Thank you.
Thank you.